All right, we're back with another pick'em video. It is Wednesday, February 25th in the NBA. We have a 6-game slate. I got some plays that I'm liking, and that's what I'm going to walk through with you guys today. But I will say, tread a little lightly in the NBA. I've said it the last few days. And if I go back to the beginning of the season and make a bet of when I was going to struggle throughout the season, it would be right after the All-Star break. And yeah, we've been struggling. I'm going to go over the recap of yesterday's video picks like we always do. But again, volatility is weird at this point in the season. Teams are tanking. Minutes are harder to predict and all that sort of stuff. So tread lightly. Let's talk about the recap real quick. And we went 2 and 3 on the video picks, so down 0.66 units. If you're like, well, I'm out of here. This guy sucks. Remember, we are up on the entire season, even through this losing streak. And losing streaks happen in the NBA. You know, sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're not. And hopefully the wins outweigh the losses. And that's been, what's been happening to me over the last 2+ years of doing YouTube video picks in a plethora of different sports. Let's talk about what happened. Sometimes we have great reads and the guys just don't shoot very well. That's Jalen Green. That's Brandon Miller, guy shooting like 5 of 25. Mikal Bridges was not that guy. He scored really well, just did not shoot the threes. It was a weird game for the Knicks. They looked like depleted. They looked gashed. I think it was their 3rd game in 4 days. And Mikal Bridges didn't do, the 3-pointers that I thought he would do because Jalen Brunson wasn't getting as much traction as I thought he would. So Mikal was almost the leading scorer in that thing, and it wasn't Jalen Brunson, passing out and kicking. It was Mikal Bridges kind of creating his own shot there. But Peyton Pritchard and KPJ, they came through for us. At least some guys did. Peyton Pritchard, I know a lot of people, pretty much everyone, was on his points and everything like that. I mentioned his points, but I really did think the rebounds prop was the safest play because the Suns were a horrible matchup for Peyton Pritchard, and he was kind of due for some regression. He'd been shooting super well. Jaylen Brown gets ruled out. It would have been great CLV. I'm not saying I'm a genius here, but that was a great way to go to his rebounds because he can affect the game even in a bad shooting night in other ways. And then KPJ cruised over this line. I was very close to laddering this, but I didn't end it at the end of the day because I just wanted the win. Ryan Kalkbrenner, this also sucked. He didn't play much time, and he had 0 points, I believe. So he didn't even shoot a shot. Worst probably read of the entire season. And I'm laughing about it because it was just so... I was going back and looking at this game. I'm like, I really bet on Ryan Kalkbrenner out of everyone in this entire game. He is just not reliable at this point. Diabate's back. I don't know what I was thinking. When Diabate wasn't back, he was a great look. But with Diabate back, this guy sucked. And then Tyler Hero over his 24.5 PRA. He ends just short as the Miami Heat, I think we're up with like 4 minutes left in the game by like 5 points and then lose it by like 15 points. So he didn't come through either. That was only a 0.5 unit play. So down 0.66 units, not the worst day in the world. We've had worse days for sure, but that's the recap. That's what happened. I never brush over my losses. I never do. I'm very transparent over here. I know there's a lot of scammers that would just come in here and be like, another winning day. Continue to go to my Discord, spy all my picks. Yeah, that's not me. I show my losses. I'm pissed off when I lose, just like you guys. And let's have a winning day. I'm freaking pissed. I'm over this losing stuff. And it's going to start with Scottie Barnes, and I really hope he plays this thing. He's questionable. He honestly might not play, but we'll see what happens. If he does play, though, I'm loving this matchup. It makes a whole lot of sense, and all the filters are going to look really good for us. Under 8.5 rebounds, minus 115, first play of the video. Now let's take a look at what he's got going on. He's going against the Spurs. We'll first knock out this part because positional players only over 40% of games. That's a good little sign. Don't have to overthink it. Guys that rebound like him, 44% of them going over against the Spurs. Great, that makes sense. Now let's take a look at what this game entails. This is Scottie Barnes, and this is the San Antonio Spurs. This is a great team overall. How do you limit the Spurs, and how do you limit Wemby? Well, you put their best defender on him, and it's usually a smaller guy. So Scottie Barnes might get that Wemby assignment, which means he's going to be locked on Wemby. If his shot goes up, he's all over the box out on Wemby. Now, why did Wemby struggle a little bit last time against these guys? He had 24 points. He shot 10 of 10 from the free throw lines because Scottie Barnes is much smaller than him, and he also, Wembanyama, only shot 8 times. So if Scottie's going to be locked on Wembanyama, hopefully again Scottie plays, but if Scottie's going to be locked on Wembanyama, shot goes up, he's immediately boxing out. Other guys are going to go over for the rebound. So he only had 3 rebounds against the Thunder last time. He's only over this rebounds line at 40% of games anyway, but in back-to-back sets, this team gets blown out a lot, I will say, and Scottie Barnes' rebounds are not that good in these games. And also, the rebound chances are kind of lower in these games as well. So Scottie, a guy that doesn't particularly play much well on back-to-back sets, which is great to see. And then again, I already mentioned it, but the head-to-head, only 4 rebound chances last time they had him because he was on Wembanyama so much. He's only trying to get Wembanyama off the boards, and other guys are going to have to do the rebounding for him. So really, really good sign to see only 4 rebound chances, and they had 3 rebounds. He had 3 rebounds total in that game, and they lost that thing by 18 because the Spurs have a lot of really other good players. If they're going to take away Wembanyama, he's fine not scoring. Other dudes can pick up the slack. So Scottie Barnes under the rebounds. I'm loving the price here at minus 115. Under 8.5 looks really good. I hope he goes out there and plays, but if he doesn't play, it's not going to hurt us. But loving this read. Maybe he's even a little bit limited with the injury he's got going on. Moving on to the next play, it's going to be another under, and it's going to be on Nikola Jokic, and I know that's scary, but I'm taking the under 9.5 assists. Minus 108 is the price tag. Jokic is over in 60% of the last 20 games. But the Celtics have been playing really well. They're on a back-to-back set here, but Jaylen Brown didn't play yesterday, so they're going to look a little bit healthier. Jaylen Brown should be healthy and ready to go, all well rested. And this is a horrible spot to get assists, especially at the rim for Jokic, where 50% of his assists come from. Celtics ranked number 2. And why is that? How do the Celtics play defense? Well, they're going to take away those guys in the paint. Are Kada and Vucevic the best rim protectors in the entire world? No, they're just going to make it really hard for you. They're going to swarm the paint, and they're going to send you the free throw line, if anything else. Now, Jokic might get some assists to the three-point line. That's where 25% of assists come from above the break threes. And the Celtics give up a lot of those because they say, hey, if you can shoot threes, we can shoot them too, and we're going to shoot more of them, and we're going to shoot a better percentage. And a couple guys that are his favorite targets from three, Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson, a couple of these guys are not even going to be in this game. So the Celtics should shoot more threes. The Celtics should shoot a better percentage. That's their game plan to winning a lot of games. And again, Jaylen Brown didn't play yesterday, so they're on a back-to-back, but their best player is not. So this is a tough spot for him. If you go to these dominant assist zones, teams that don't allow a bunch of assists in the paint, Celtics again ranked number 2. In these challenging spots, Jokic ends up losing 3.5 assists on these, and he only averages 8.5 assists in these difficult spots. The last time I told you guys about the under on Jokic's assists, it was this Clippers game where he had 6 assists on 17 potentials because he probably found a lot of open guys from 3, and they just weren't knocking him down. So that's hopefully the recipe today. I know it's a scary one to go into under on Jokic, but Jokic might be able to score a little bit. I just don't think the assists will come as easy as they come against some other teams. So Jokic, difficult spot here. Again, challenging matchup against those dominant assist zone teams that lock it down. Celtics are one of those teams. They might send you the free throw line. They might give up some threes, but you got to knock them down at a good clip like they do. Otherwise, the assists are going to be tough to get. Moving along to the next play, it's going to be our first over, and it's going to be a guy that's been cooking his overs, Jarrett Allen, for a double-double here against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, there's a lot of stuff to talk about for this one, but why has this guy been crushing this line? Why has his entire career been rejuvenated since James Harden got here? Well, it's because James Harden takes a lot of attention from the defense. He is a really good three-point shooter, shoots a lot of them when he's open, so the teams have to play him on the three-point line. And what does that do? It opens up the middle for Jarrett Allen. And James Harden's also elite at finding the big man down low. So he's had monster double-doubles in a lot of these games. And Evan Mobley's been missing a lot of these games as well. Games without Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen over in 50% of these games, but a lot of them recently without Evan Mobley and with Harden in the lineup, which we might get today. He's had some huge games, 26 and 14. Hooked on the double-double here with 21 points and 9 rebounds against the Wizards. They won that game by 25. He only played 27 minutes. He had 22 and 13 here, and he had 29 and 10 against the Sacramento Kings. So I love this spot for Jarrett Allen. I don't really care about the matchup here. Defensive ranked position, 3rd overall. We might get Giannis back, but probably in a limited capacity if he does play. And that was my initial thoughts. But going over to RotoWire, they're saying, yeah, if Giannis does play, we're expecting around 30 minutes, which would be great because that means Jarrett Allen will probably get the Giannis assignment and means Giannis will probably be in the paint a little bit more. And that means more opportunities for Jarrett Allen to get some rebounds. You know, if he has to play Miles Turner, might have to spend a little bit more time in the three-point line. Might be a little bit more difficult for him to get the rebounds. But Jarrett Allen's just been an absolute beast recently. Without Evan Mobley, he's going to be the main rebounder on this squad. And I don't really care about the matchup. He's done it against good teams, bad teams, different teams, all sorts of different teams. It hasn't really mattered. So Jarrett Allen, especially without Mobley, with Harden in the lineup, rejuvenated career. I like this spot for Jarrett Allen. Just get a double-double. Doesn't have to dominate it. 10 and 10 would do the trick. And sometimes we can use other lines to get a better read on what we're going to here. This is a double-double prop. This is going to rely on points and rebounds for a guy like Jarrett Allen. And his points have been not even a question. He's been dominating the points line here. We just need 10 points from him. That's probably like a minus 500, minus 800, minus 1,000 for him to get 10 points just because of how well he's played with James Harden and especially without Mobley here. So then we just start looking at the rebounds. And essentially we're betting on a rebounds line. And every other book has this at 10.5. If it's got it at 9.5, it's heavily juiced on the over. So the minus 115 price tag, we're essentially, for this double-double, because Jarrett Allen's been so good, we're essentially just betting on the over 9.5 rebounds, and we're getting a great price on it for minus 115. So that's another, kind of angle to look at this. Hopefully he goes out there and does it for us, and he's been cooking, going to ride the hot hand. go out there and do your thing. And lastly, I'm going to tie Jerome to get some points, rebounds, and assists. His line's at 23.5 right now. There's a ton of injuries for the Memphis Grizzlies, as we know. And Ty Jerome's just been an absolute stud in pretty much every single game he's played so far this season. His usage rate is ridiculous. If you actually go to stats and you look at the usage rate, 33.5 usage rate this entire season. And it's pretty much been consistently every single time. Now, Ty Jerome does not play a lot of minutes. He's been getting around 20 minutes every single game, 20 to 22 minutes, pretty much a hard cap right there. But they have been trending upwards. So maybe he gets 23 minutes or something today. But he's actually played this Warriors team already. He had 19 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists in that game. So I like to see that. And this isn't just this season either. If you look at the entirety of these seasons overall, even in the time he's going to get on the court, which is going to be that 20 to 22 minutes, let's say, and again, I'm looking at the last 3 years, 20 to 22 minutes with the usage that he's been getting, which is 26 plus. He's over this in 9 of 10 games. And again, that includes some games last season too. So Ty Jerome is an absolute stud. He was a stud in the Cavs, and now he's pretty much the best player on the Grizzlies. He just come back from injury, and he's playing 20 minutes, but he's playing extremely well, and he's already done it against the Golden State Warriors. They don't play pull-ups very well, and this team's also very, very injured. So Ty Jerome, just do it again for us. You've been an absolute stud, and 23.5 PRA seems too low. You've been crushing this line. Now, jumping into 2 leans I do have because they're both on the Rockets. I'm going to start with the Reed Shepherd because I want to talk about his threes. The last time we went to this line, it was against the Jazz, and he had 5 3-pointers, and he shot 9 of them. So great matchup here, and there's no Amin Thompson, so Reed Shepherd's going to get a lot of time on the court. Now, it's juiced at minus 130, so it means we'll probably attack this at the ladder at 3.5 as well. Stay tuned for the recap for where my actual unit sizes are on all these. But yeah, Reed Shepherd to knock down some threes makes a whole lot of sense for me. If you look at this matchup, you're like, it's not the best matchup in the world. It's kind of a mediocre one. But the Kings suck, and they've sucked for the past 15 games. Over the last 15 games, they ranked 27th in terms of above the break threes. So this is a much weaker defense overall than we saw at the beginning of the season. So these last 15 games, the last 10 games, they've just been horrible allowing threes, and a bunch of guys are shooting threes against them. So Reed Shepherd, I like his chances to knock down some threes, just the same Reed as the Jazz. They give up a lot of them, and Reed Shepherd should get the time in the court. So let's go to the minutes here. Let's go to the expected minutes. Now he's over this in 55% of the games. A lot of these games coming recently. The one game without Amin Thompson, he played 32 minutes. So again, 26 of 36 makes sense to me, especially in these good matchups. If he's going to get this much time in the court, going against a team that allows a lot of catch and shoot. Again, 13th ranked overall for the season. The last 15 games, they ranked 22nd rank. So in these spots, 55% hit rate, but with the time in the court and these favorable matchups, now he's over in 62.5% of them. So he should get more opportunities being on the in the starting lineup here with some good playmakers. Reed Shepherd gonna shoot the threes, just has to put them in, and hopefully he can do that against the Kings, who are a weak defense overall. Now, I will say, I was looking at his points line as well, about a 50% hit rate, and he's been doing that a little bit. The one game without Amin Thompson, he only had 1 3-pointer actually in that game, but he scored pretty well. I think he had 16 points in that game. Yeah, 16 points and only 1 3, 1 of 4 from 3. So could be a good spot to look at maybe just his points too. But I'm going to look at the threes. I'm going to ladder the threes up because I do think they will come in an instance like this. And he's been shooting pretty well, especially, again, with the time in the court he's been getting. So I like Reed Shepherd. Knock down some threes. Just stay tuned for the recap to see if I go to the points, if I go to the exact 3-point line, if I ladder the 3-point line up. But I'm liking Reed Shepherd in some capacity today. And I spent all that time talking about Reed Shepherd, but I don't want to brush over Jabari Smith Jr. because he's also been playing really well, and he's got a really low line too, 15.5, minus 110 on the over. And the game without Amin Thompson, Jabari also had a really good game, 22 points in that thing. He knocked down 3 threes. Again, the Kings are just a horrible defense right now. Last 15 games, literally dead last in defensive rating, above the break threes. I've been going against them, catch and shoot opportunities within 10 feet. It's a great matchup for Jabari to score, and Jabari's been really good recently. His floor has been 13 points over the last 10 games or so, and without Amin Thompson, it looked like he had a pretty good usage rate. In terms of the shots that went up, he also got to the free throw line a whole bunch, which we could see today because they give up a lot of free throws here too. So Jabari's another guy I'm looking at, and to be totally honest, Reed and Jabari are probably more like leans, just because I'm not exactly sure who to go to just yet. Maybe in the recap, I'll tell you exactly what I did. But honestly, I might be leaning Jabari just because of his recent form, and he should get the time in the court here with Amin Thompson being out. They played him a whole bunch, 43 minutes in that thing. And again, Steven Adams is out of the lineup too. So without both these guys, he's been playing pretty damn well. So Jabari over his points at 15.5. If you want to get some plus money action, I think 2.5 threes is also a pretty good spot here, but maybe just looking at the points would be the move for Jabari. And again, if you want Reed and you think he's a better option, I like him too. I just talked about, why I like him too. But I think with Ahmed Thompson out, one of these guys should go over the lines, if not both of them. So if you've made it this far in the video, we're about to hop into the recap. But if you could hit the like button, give us some good luck. Let's get out of this little rut. I'm all business today, and I'm not doing 0.5 unit plays because I don't want to miss it when we come back, from this down stretch, because we have down stretches in the past. We eventually break out of it, and we have some good runs. And again, hopefully that starts today. It's not the best slate in the world, but I do have some plays that I'm really liking here. I like the angles that we're attacking here. So again, smash the like button, comment something down below. Let me know if you're frustrated with me. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I'll read the comments. Just be realistic. We're not going to win every day. I'm not going to win, every single 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row. We'll have these bad stretches. And I think I'm one of the only people to come on here and actually talk about the bad stretches rather than just brushing over them and only talking about the wins. So let's get into the recap real quick. But first of all, got to shout out Pickett. And Pickett's great about reminding me of the good times. At the beginning of the month, we were doing great. We had some crazy days, and now we're just on a slow tick downward. But, over the course of all the time that I've done this, I'm up a lot of units, and there's been ups and downs throughout this entire thing, but a lot more up than there is down. Up 523 units all time over the course of 2+ years of doing this. I do a lot of Underdog. I do a lot of PrizePicks. I do a lot of Betr, but you can sync your sports books that are FanDuel or DraftKings. Pretty much any sports book you can think of, it's going to be able to sync to Pickett. So if you're not on Pickett, sign up. It's a completely free bet tracker for you guys to use. And when you use my code RichPicks, there's a link in the description down below. You get to do that, and you get $3 or $100 when you sync your first sports book. Again, totally free app for you guys to use. Might as well take advantage of it. $3 or $100 Venmo or PayPal to you directly. It's as simple as that. So you want to know if you're winning or losing. I know these tough stretches are tough, but you got to remember the good times. If you're doing stuff in the right, you're going to see that general, over the course of a long run, that general uptick where you're getting some units. So let's hop into the recap and see what we did today. We had Scottie Barnes, who's questionable. We have his under 8.5 rebounds. We love that matchup against the Spurs for the under. Nikola Jokic, hate this matchup for him to get assists, so we're taking the under on 9.5. Very tough restricted area defense the Celtics have. Jarrett Allen for a double-double. No Mobley. Dude's been hooping. And with Giannis in there, I like it even better. Jerome just continue that wagon, 23.5 PRA. Dude's usage rate has been absolutely crazy, even in the limited time he's been getting on the floor. And then without Ahmed Thompson out, one of these guys or both of these guys is going to go over their line. So I'm taking Jabari Smith Jr. over 15.5 points. We're taking it at 0.5 units there. And we're also taking 0.5 units on Reed Shepherd's threes. I was going to ladder this up, but I'm just going to stick to it. I just want to get some wins here. I know it's juiced at minus 130, but I'm going to take it at the 0.5 units. I'm taking 2 Rockets at 0.5 units for a total of 1 unit on the Rockets players. So if you want to stay tuned for this, I'm going to just talk about the games real quick. I'm not going to do a full slate breakdown because there's so much uncertainty today that I'd probably just be guessing, even with the projected minutes and things like that. But teams on a back-to-back, teams to be wary of anyone popping up on the injury report. The Celtics, the Cavs, the Warriors, the Bucks, the Thunder, the Raptors. That's what's kind of making this a little bit harder slate. No, that didn't deter me from putting 5 units down for you guys, but that's why it's a little bit a harder slate. But going into like the projected minutes, Wemby was another guy I was looking at the under, but I really want to see if Scottie Barnes plays because I do think Scottie Barnes will be put on Wemby, and I think Wemby will have a difficult time, getting some easy buckets. But I want to know if Scottie Barnes is playing first to do that. This is an interesting game because it's the 2 top teams in the East and the West, but there's obviously still no Shea, no J-Dub, so the Thunder have been looking a little different. Somehow they continue to win games, but I think the Detroit Pistons probably get it done. They're 8-point favorites here. Memphis and Golden State, we already talked about Jerome. On the Golden State side of things, I don't have really any reads. A bunch of injuries for this team as well, so harder to see like historic data against them. The Sacramento Kings and the Houston Rockets, we already talked about. Ahmed Thompson being out, so guys like Reed Shepherd and Jabari Smith Jr. potentially having bigger roles here today. Tari Eason hopefully isn't that guy that ends up having 25 points. That would suck because he's the only guy I didn't get that would probably get a huge boost with Ahmed Thompson out. Sacramento Kings, I don't really have any reads. They suck so bad. Cleveland and Milwaukee. This could be an interesting one. Obviously, if Giannis plays, Kevin Porter, who's the guy? AJ Green, I was looking at his over 8.5 points. I think that could be a good read. Evan Mobley not on the injury report right now, but I would assume he pops up in the injury report at some point. It is a back-to-back, and again, I thought he was doubtful for some reason. Not on the injury report right now, but again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he does pop up. Back-to-back set for them. I don't know why I thought he was doubtful today. That's weird, but again, it makes sense that he wouldn't play today, to be totally honest. And then we got the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets. We talked about Jokic's under. Jaylen Brown should be in here. They've been cooking, 38-19 team, but 3.5-point underdogs here against Denver in Denver. So, yeah, I got not a ton of reads here. G.G. Jackson was one guy I was looking at as under 3-pointers for the Grizzlies side of things, but that doesn't really go hand in hand with Jerome's PRA. But just something I was interested in against the Warriors. He has to hit 2 threes, and he doesn't shoot that many threes. Usually maxes out around 5. But yeah, I got nothing else. Just wanted to point out some things. And of course, the back-to-back sets are huge for these kind of slates. So that'll do it. That's everything I wanted to talk about. Hopefully we break out of this slump. I know it's been frustrating. Hopefully you guys are still with me. And again, smash the like button. It does help YouTube push this video out a little bit more, especially when you comment too. And of course, if you're new around here, subscribe. I don't brush over anything. I'm very transparent. I think I'm one of the most transparent people on YouTube. And we'll break out of it at some point, hopefully in a big way. But this is a very hard point in the season to do, a lot of damage. And, good thing we did a lot of damage earlier in the year so we could have some of these rougher patches. But we'll break out at some point. Hopefully it starts today. And again, all those plays make sense to me. If they don't make sense to you, don't go to them. It's not me telling you this is what you have to do. It's me showing you guys my favorite plays. And if you agree with them too, then it makes a lot of sense to maybe get some action down on it. But that'll do it. Good luck with all your plays. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.